So let's go ahead and take a little bit more. Okay? So let's go ahead again and take a look at some of the corrective remedies in case you're not in a testable state. And moving down, if you didn't test high on a natural food, either the Skittles or the chickpeas, then you can also try testing another wholesome food that may be better for you. And footnote 9 says try another wholesome food. 2 natural foods are provided in your kit, of course, the Skittles and the almonds. If both foods fail to perform, these may simply not be good food choices for the individual, and you can also try another wholesome food if available. Okay? So, where are we going next? If it's still not working after you do that, then down the yellow brick road once again. If it's still not working, drink an additional half a glass of water, a little more hydration, a little bit more to deal with the blood sugar possibility. Warm up that thymus again, and then after 10 minutes, use the Train the Brain cue cards, get yourself in a mental state, and then go up to requalify up in number 2, which is basically to test the candy versus the good food again. And then if you still can't qualify, then use these testing options, either surrogate testing or, and then footnote 10 has a little more to talk about that. So, if we take a look at footnote 10 on Navigator, it says if you still can't qualify, use surrogate testing. The previous adjustments are effective 3 out of 4 times. You could also try again when you're a little bit more refreshed. The other option is surrogate testing, which is used when you can't qualify or you're physically unable to test. Fortunately, another person can become your surrogate. The surrogate must be a person whom you trust to be neutral. First, the surrogate must separately prepare and qualify. In other words, if you're unable to be in a testable state, and let's say, for instance, I'm not in a testable state, I have my wife be my surrogate for me, the only way that she can be a surrogate is she needs to be responding appropriately to the poor food versus the good food. Okay, let's continue on. The surrogate, after they qualify, the surrogate's task is pulling the tester for you. You do everything else as usual, making the statements, etc., while placing your hand on the surrogate's shoulder or hip. Before each pull, the surrogate states, "These are James's test results. I am neutral." This statement must be made with emphasis. They must focus on being neutral to minimize the potential of influencing test results. Okay? So, the other thing that you can do is if you notice that your baseline is vacillating, and that is further on as you're going down the road doing testing, there's a couple of things that you can do to tune back into your baseline. And again, if you take a look at number 11 and number 12 on your personal test buddy, if you're having difficulty with your baseline and you've lost focus, and if it steadily decreases, you're pulling too hard. If you've lost focus, you just want to get back tuned into it. But if you notice that as you're continuing to test, your baseline continues to go further and further down, a little bit of that is not a problem, okay? In other words, as I'm continuing to test on my battery or whatever, if I make adjustments to my baseline from time to time, and we'll be talking more about that, that's normal. But if you have a baseline that just keeps going lower and lower and lower, what that means is at the start, that your baseline was set too high, and it's better for you to set a more comfortable pull. Okay, so that's pretty much it for qualifying for testing. And now that we're qualified for testing, we've got a green light go for finding out whatever it is that we need to know.